there is only really one burning question that has to be asked here. What sort of other game modes could possibly be coming here with this new installment for the Hinokami Chronicles games? You know, this really is something I feel needs to be brought up here and discussed because potentially this could be really game breaking here. So, of course, you have your standard versus mode, practice mode, and of course, online mode. But what about, say, a horde mode of some kind? Maybe perhaps a standard survival mode would be nice to have in this game, and maybe also a tournament mode that's a little bit more formal with how everything is arranged and the fights are set up and whatnot, and then have some kind of prize at the end if you get first place. Sort of similar, I'd say, to the Dragon Ball Z Budokai and Budokai Tenkaichi series of games from back in the day to really help Hinokami Chronicles 2 here stand apart from its predecessor here. So, one other game mode I'd also like to be added to this as well would be the implementation and addition of a really nice boss rush mode. Give me a mode where I can simply go through every single boss, perhaps even say the first series of bosses from the original Hinokami Chronicles as well, just for good measure, for some variety to be thrown in there into this mix to really help this game as a sequel stand out. Like I said, from its predecessor here, and also just in general, other anime games of this style here, of this arena fighter genre, that I feel deserves to be looked over here a tad more, with a few more, bells and whistles here to help this game truly shine and truly succeed with what it's trying to do. Now, roster wise, we have all sorts of new characters here joining the fray with additional, all the Hashira being finally playable in one game for the first time ever, as well as, of course, more demons and a few other side characters as well that are added for good measure. But really, I would like to see more game modes, more content in general, besides just a bigger roster with, these dual ultimate moves are also a really nice touch, might I add. But, just a little bit more icing on the cake here for us fans to truly sink our teeth into and really get our money's worth here for this latest installment that will be soon dropping here worldwide for the Demon Slayer series. So, I'd say that besides all that, maybe perhaps one other game mode would be a formal tutorial mode of some kind, you know. So maybe, like I said, a formal tutorial to teach players who are new to the series how to properly play and take out enemies here. I learned how to really slay in style, if you catch my drift here. So besides that, then, I would have to say maybe besides the new mode that's already been added, it looks like the new type where the player character taking on a wave of enemies and whatnot. That does look pretty darn cool for what it's worth, but I would just like a few more modes here to be simply added on and to really, make this game all that much more interesting here when it comes to content that it's being packed with and sold to us fans of this series here. And also to, of course, as well, potentially new fans, people that aren't even really, fans of Demon Slayer in particular, but just arena fighters in general for the genre here. This really has to appeal to not just the core audience here, I feel like. This game deserves to do well, in my opinion. And if you guys really want to hear what I have to say about not just this anime game, but a bunch of others as well, including, of course, Sparking Zero and the like, then please be sure to let me know down below what you thought of this video and what type of game modes or characters even, whatever it might be here that you personally want to see added into Hinokami Chronicles 2 down below then in the comments section. And let's get a good old discussion going here, a conversation here about this game. And could this even lead to more down the road here? With the Infinity Castle movie coming out soon too, I feel like this is the most ample time to really be a fan of Demon Slayer, and it's truly one of the best times in general here for anime as a whole to be getting so much love and care and attention here shown for this series. I just feel like this is the best opportunity that it could possibly be for really any anime at this given time. So take that for what it's worth. But yeah, let's get a conversation struck up here. Let's get talking about Demon Slayer here and everything regarding, of course, this game, the Infinity Castle movie coming out soon with Akaza, and what this could all potentially lead to down the line. You know, could Hinokami Chronicles 2 hopefully be supported long term? I hope so personally, and that it has a very long lifespan and one that is also not just long but also healthy as well for this game to succeed not just as an anime game but also as a Demon Slayer game as a whole here, guys. So besides that, I'd say with the tutorial, a formal one, a boss rush mode, and the like, of course, a survival mode, and maybe even, yeah, time attack would be nice just to have to race against the clock here with taking out foes and slaying them in style and whatnot. Any other modes, though, I really feel like a tournament mode, that is the one big one in my mind that I absolutely would love to see implemented here and added to really help this game shine. You know, I feel like that would really make this game just that much more fun and enjoyable to have here with the opportunity to play this game once it drops soon, because it's not that much longer here. Where we have less than 2 weeks from the time of this video before the game finally launches now after much, and I mean much, anticipation upon waiting. Ever since the first few trailers for this were coming out, I was just completely over the moon about this game getting a sequel and having this opportunity now for the Hinokami Chronicles games to be revamped here slightly and tweaked to become that much more fun and also competitive, because there is a lot of good stuff here with this series, and it can only hopefully go up from here instead of any other direction if it were. So take that for what it's worth. But I'd say that on that note, as for any other game modes I'd like to see, maybe some kind of other game mode where maybe not where you play as the bosses themselves, but some kind of other type of, you know, mode here that really allows us to maybe with like items of some kind that are added, with the customization options that are going to be offered in this game. Maybe give us only a few items to choose from, or let us go completely crazy here with the options that we do end up picking, and use that to really make some interesting matchups here. Really to set up and raise the stakes, if it were, for this other potential game mode here. I feel like for this, it's truly the sky's the limit type of feeling with how good this game can truly get. You know, I'm not trying to be negative here. I'm just trying to be honest. And I really hope that this game does succeed and ends up doing really well commercially, and also makes not just, the development team and the publishers happy, but the fans like myself when it comes down to the wire here at the end of the day. I really want this game to do well. I want it to be fun. I want it to be innovative. I want it to really grip me and to, pull me into the world of Demon Slayer here. Have me feel what it's like to be training with the Hashira, also fighting against the upper moons and whatnot. Perhaps we'll even get, hopefully, Muzan as a playable character. What I do know is that this game looks absolutely stunning so far. From the dual ultimates we've been seeing, the character reveal trailers, everything looks phenomenal so far, in my opinion here. And so I would say that otherwise, I also hope that this comes with DLC at some point, whether it's free or paid. I don't care about that really. I just want more content. I want more stuff to do in this game. I want there to be even more characters hopefully added in the future, and for this game to have a nice life cycle, you know, and is going to be continually supported going forward upon release day for many, many years to come, and hopefully continue to have a thriving, perhaps small community for players both old and new and the like. But again, that's one thing that ultimately time will tell on that regard. Down the road, then, a year or two from now, who knows? Maybe we'll be getting even a third game by then. I don't know. Although that would be something. How would they keep improving, or what would they add or take away as far as gameplay is concerned here? It's just my 2 cents, guys, in my opinion and whatnot. So yeah, I'd say then let's get a discussion going though. Let's talk about what game modes and characters you guys want to all be added here into Hinokami Chronicles 2 over the course of its lifespan here. If it indeed does well after releasing. We're going to have to just simply wait and see here as the days count down until it finally launches then worldwide. And well, we go from there. And that'll be just about it then. And hopefully the future is kind to this game. Very, very kind. And it gets a lot of love and attention that it rightfully deserves here as a sequel. To build upon everything that the original game did really well, could have done a little bit better with certain things as far as gameplay goes, such as like the speed of some moves and whatnot, and just the different mechanics and the parrying and whatnot. But otherwise, though, I'd say that just about does it for everything on my end here. And so I'll be signing off for today. But guys, if you like what you saw from this video, please be sure to let me know down below. And also to stay on the lookout for more community polls and posts from me then. So it's been fun though. And so I'll be catching you guys all next time in my next video on the flip side. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll be seeing you later.